Colonel Rozum is a character I never thought we would ever really see again, or at least not this soon. He was a minor recurring character in Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, only appearing in 4 episodes, and then he returned for 1 episode of Ben 10 Omniverse, and that seemed to be it. But now he is back in the brand new Ben 10 comic series by Dynamite Entertainment. So let's take a look at the kind of confusing history of Colonel Rozum. The character made his debut in the first episode of the 3rd Ben 10 TV series, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. The episode was written by Joanne McDuffie, who named Colonel Rozum after his friend John Rozum, who briefly worked at Milestone Comics. He kicks off the Agrigor storyline, which was the main focus of the first 16 episodes of the series. In the episode, Ben was attacked by the Air Force and was arrested. Gwen and Kevin then showed their plumber's badges to the Colonel so he would free Ben from his prison cell. Once out of their cell, the Colonel would then send them on their new mission. An Orishan from the planet Kusana in the Andromeda Galaxy, named by Valvin, was raiding NASA. He was attempting to leave Earth to escape the wrath of the supervillain Agrigor. However, one of the parts he stole to get away from Earth happened to be a nuclear bomb. So Colonel Rozum couldn't allow that bomb to go off, and so he needed the help of Ben Tennyson and his teammates to stop Bivalven. They were successful in retrieving the bomb for the Colonel, but Bivalven was indeed captured in the end by Agrigor. In the follow-up episode titled Ultimate Agrigor, the old military base at La Soledad was taken over by Agrigor and his army of robot minions. Colonel Rozum has now been assigned to the alien division of the military after his previous appearance. His orders now are to blow up La Soledad if he's not able to retake the base from Agrigor. However, he is warned by time traveler Professor Paradox that blowing up La Soledad would destroy reality across light years of space. And so Ben and his team are once again sent to La Soledad to stop Agrigor. And it is also in this episode that we learn that Colonel Rozum has a history with working with Ben's grandfather Max Tennyson. We don't see Colonel Rozum again during the Agrigor storyline. He does, however, make his return in the episode Prisoner number 775 is missing. In this episode, the retired Forever Knight, Sir George, raids Area 51 and teleports the entire building to another location. The players start investigating the former sites of Area 51, and then they discover the horrifying truth. Area 51 had been unjustly imprisoning extraterrestrial life for 50 years now, with Colonel Rozum going along with it, believing they're all a danger to national security. Max Tennyson calls him out on his crap, telling him that the US government is handling the situation the wrong way. Meanwhile, one of the alien prisoners escapes and goes after Colonel Rozum's family. And of course, the prisoner also becomes a suspect in the case of Area 51's disappearance. The prisoner is a Merlini sapien who has the ability to turn invisible, not teleport buildings. Upon being defeated by Ben, prisoner 775 cries out in agony, wanting Ben to finish him off so he can rejoin his family in the afterlife. But even after all that, Colonel Rozum still sees prisoner 775 as a threat. Yeah, I think this is easily Colonel Rozum's best appearance in the show, with the episode being a commentary on Guantanamo Bay. The next time Colonel Rozum appeared was in the episode The Winding Gyre. This episode was meant to be about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which at the time was believed to be a giant island made of trash. I'm just gonna go ahead and read the Wikipedia article. Wikipedia says, despite the common public perception of the patch existing as a giant island of floating garbage, its low density prevents detection by satellite imagery or even by casual bottlers or drivers in the area. This is because the patch is a widely dispersed area consisting primarily of suspended fingernail-sized or smaller, often microscopic particles in the upper water column known as microplastics. Or maybe the island isn't there anymore because Ben threw it into outer space as way big. Who knows? Interestingly, in the episode, Gwen says that the island is twice the size of Texas, which is true about the garbage patch in real life, but according to Wikipedia at least, it didn't become that way until more recently, way after the episode came out. Maybe I should do more research on the topic instead of just reading Wikipedia. But I'm too lazy to do that. We also learn in this episode that Colonel Rozum has a sister, who we never hear about ever again. The next time we see Colonel Rozum wouldn't be until late into Ben 10 Omniverse's run in the episode Blukich and Driba Go to Area 51. Now, this episode features a big flashback that has a bunch of continuity errors and retcons. However, after hearing the story, Ben says it's hard to believe, and Blukich admits that it's only mostly true. So perhaps maybe some of the inconsistencies were due to Blukich and Driba misremembering what happened. We don't know. But yeah, this episode shows that Colonel Rozum is somehow not only older than Max, but was also his superior in the Air Force, which contradicts Max's backstory in the episode Moonstruck. And even back then, Colonel Rozum was in charge of Area 51, and the base was attacked by a villain straight out of a 1950 sci-fi movie, Benevolon. After Blukich and Driba crash-landed on Earth, Benevolon returns to Area 51 once again in present day, but he was stopped by Ben Tennyson, of course. It is also shown that Colonel Rozum is Lieutenant Steele's superior officer, who's a character that deserves his own video one day. And this is the last time we would hear from Colonel Rozum in over 10 years, but they have finally brought him back in the new Ben 10 comic series by Dynamite Entertainment. In this new universe, whenever the Omnitrix crash landed on Earth, the military was sent to investigate the crash site, with Rozum in charge of the operation. They set up a camp in the woods nearby the site, which Max Tennyson checks out. In this version of the story, Max and Rozum have never met each other before, and Max is just trying to find out what happened to his grandson. However, the alien bounty hunter Crab attacks the site, searching for the Omnitrix, taking out many of Rozum's troops. Crab is of course defeated by Ben Tennyson, who else? But the military captures Crab's body and start analyzing it, with Rozum proclaiming that the human race has entered into a bold new area of investigation here. And that is the story so far of Colonel Rozum. After years of being missing in action, he's finally got a future to look forward to. Who knows, maybe one day he'll even be adapted into a live-action movie based on the Ben 10 comic series. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all look forward to the future as we continue to keep covering the comic series here on the channel. Bye everyone.